Tarp's only been here just a few minutes, and here we've already got one mulberry on it. It's one of the great things about laying a tarp down underneath the mulberry tree. If we look up, you guys may be able to see all of these mulberries that are starting to ripen up. You'll see quite a few white ones, some in-between ones, some real dark ones. That's one of the things about mulberries, is that they ripen at various stages. Right here is a really good example of how mulberries ripen at various stages. So you guys can see the white ones up there at the top, and you can see the darker ones kind of in the middle, and you can see those lighter ones down at the bottom there. But this tree is absolutely loaded with mulberries, and this is the second of the two mulberry trees that I have in my property. And this one has the largest and sweetest mulberries, so this is the one I decided to lay the tarp under. And if you're wanting to harvest mulberries, that's one of the things you want to keep in mind, is you want to kind of taste some of the mulberries that are on the tree and find some of the really good fresh ones that are on the ground and see which ones you think are the sweetest or the best tasting, that you think are the best tasting. And you want to use the mulberries from the tree that you think taste the greatest, or that'll give you the taste that you're looking for in whatever recipe you plan on using them in. What I like to do before I lay my tarp down underneath the mulberry tree is I like to take a look on the ground, and I like to see where the largest cluster of mulberries is. Like if I lift up this corner here and we go look on the ground, we're going to see all of these mulberries just all over the ground everywhere, tucked in the grass or embedded in the grass. And wherever you find the largest grouping of mulberries in the ground, it's going to smell most likely like wine or rotten fruit. And the reason is because mulberries will usually ripen up the longer they're on the ground. Like if we take this one here, you can see just how juicy this thing really is. I mean, this thing is absolutely juicy as can be. And if we take a bite of it, we can see just how sweet it is. And this thing, man, this thing tastes just like juice. It's delicious. This one's in the mix of fermenting right now. Whenever you're picking them up, and whenever you're picking them up off the ground, be a little cautious. Take a look. Make sure you don't find any bugs. Make sure the mulberry doesn't stink too bad. Make sure it's not too far in the fermentation stage. But that's a really good way to test. Now also, your fingers are going to get stained, so if you don't want that, wear some gloves. But yeah, that tastes great. But we can see just how many of these mulberries are on the ground. They may be hard to see on camera because they're tucked in the grass. But wherever you find the largest grouping of mulberries on the ground is where you want to go ahead and place your tarp. Because all those berries are going to fall down with the wind blowing and squirrels and birds and different things like that. And you can accelerate the process by taking your kids and having them throw sticks or rocks or whatever, or just shaking the branches yourself. Or, you know, you could be the one to throw the sticks and the rocks. There are all kinds of ways to gather your mulberries. Another easy way to gather the mulberries is to take a grappling hook and go ahead and give it a good toss to catch a limb. After you do that, give it a good jerk back and forth to shake that limb. As you do that, you might want to keep an eye on the ground and see if any of the berries are missing your tarp or not. Make adjustments as necessary. Here you guys can see the amount of berries I have. I have about 2.5 pints here, just from a small amount of shaking. I don't know if you saw, but I used a grappling hook to throw up and then grab the branch of the tree and just jerk it down and kind of jerk it quite a bit. That worked really well. There's several ways you can go about that. Like I said earlier, you can use sticks, rocks, whatever. A grappling hook works really well for that. You can see my hands are stained here from going through and doing the sorting. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and I like to do a preliminary sorting of the berries on the tarp. And I like to leave the majority of the nasty ones, or any ones that are just totally unusable, or, you know, whether they're unripe. Here you can see some white ones and you can see some pink ones. Those aren't done yet and those aren't ready to be eaten, so we're just going to leave those there. And you can see some other ones that I left there because they're kind of, well, past prime, they're past usability in my opinion. I don't feel comfortable using them. And that's something you want to do. You want to make sure you take a good look and that you feel comfortable using the berries that you plan on using. Because sometimes from one side or one angle the berry can look really good, and then other times they just look nasty when you turn them around. So keep that in mind. But here you can see just how nice and juicy these berries are. These are really nice. There's a little bit of pinkness in some of these. That's fine. I'm just going to take them inside, rinse them up, set them in the fridge, and they'll actually continue to kind of ripen up on their own over the course of the next couple days, and they'll actually become a little bit sweeter. And that's what I like to do with them, is I like to kind of rinse them up and then let them sit for a day or so in my fridge. and then I like to go ahead and use them because I find they ripen up just a bit more. But I thought I would share this little tip with you guys on how to harvest your mulberries in bulk. Some of you guys may be wondering this. A lot of people see the mulberries on the tree and they're so high up. A lot of people kind of wonder how you get them. And this is, in my opinion, the easiest way to gather mulberries in bulk, because you can just set the tarp out early in the morning, or whenever you get the chance. You can leave it out overnight, let it sit a day or so, come back and check it over time, collect the good mulberries, and just let the tarp sit out. Collect the good mulberries each night before you go in, before the sun sets. But I thought I'd share this little foraging tip with you guys today. I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If you want to learn more about edible or medicinal plants, make sure to subscribe.